KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Bryan has more on today's surprise announcement.
And it has created some uproar among some of the intelligence officials, too. More controversy for the president. President Trump has apparently been seething about the tough criticism he's gotten from some former national security and intelligence officials. And today he fired back at one of those officials and threatened others to knock it off or else they could be next, triggering more controversy. President Trump taking revenge on a former CIA director who's been sharply critical of him, stripping John Brennan of his security clearance.
Mr. Brennan has recently leveraged his status as a former high-ranking official with access to highly sensitive information to make a series of unfounded and outrageous allegations, wild outbursts on the internet and television about this administration.
And White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders denied this was a strategic tactic by the president to change the subject from Omarosa's racial charges or to silence his critics, but rather, she said, a measured response to protect national security in light of Brennan's allegedly erratic behavior.
Mr. Brennan's line and recent conduct, characterized by increasingly frenzied commentary, is wholly inconsistent with access to the nation's most closely held secrets and facilities, the very aim of our adversaries, which is to sow division and chaos.
Brennan had this response on MSNBC.
I do believe that Mr. Trump decided to take this action, as he's done with others, to try to intimidate and suppress any criticism of him or his administration. And revoking my security clearances is his way of trying to get back at me.
It didn't start out like this. In fact, Brennan, who was the CIA director during President Obama's administration, was a member of the team that briefed President-elect Trump on Russian interference in the 2016 election.
Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today.
But after President Trump's news conference with Russian President Vladimir Putin last month, Brennan tweeted it was nothing short of treasonous. Brennan became one of President Trump's most outspoken critics.
Donald Trump can be played by foreign leaders who are going to appeal to his ego and to try to play upon his insecurities, which is very, very worrisome from a national security standpoint.
And just last night, this was apparently the last straw for President Trump.
I think Donald Trump has badly sullied the reputation of the office of the presidency.
The president's disdain for Brennan was pretty clear last month in this interview with CBS Evening News anchor Jeff Glor.
I have no confidence in a guy like Brennan. I think he's a total lowlife.
Former government officials often retain their security clearances so they can advise their successors. But in this case, Brennan may soon be getting some company on the security clearance sidelines from others who have also been critical of the president.
James Clapper, James Comey, Michael Hayden, Sally Yates, Susan Rice, Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, and Bruce Orr.
Some of those who may soon lose their security clearance spoke out Wednesday night.
The White House just messaged the entire American intelligence community. If you stand up and say things that upset the president or with which he disagrees, he will punish you. And that is a horrible message to be sending to folks who are there to tell you objective truth.
Where does this end? What is to stop President Trump from, say, suspending the eligibility for access to classified information of Bob Mueller and his entire team? And they have to operate. They can't operate without access to classified information.
One name that's not on the security clearance review list is former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, who pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI about his communications with Russian officials, but has not been critical of President Trump. His national security clearance has not been revoked. And when the White House press secretary was asked why, she deflected.
Again, certainly we would look at those if we deemed it necessary, and we'll keep you posted if that list gets updated.
Now, there were also questions today about why the president's statement on security clearances, which was read by the press secretary today, was actually dated July 26, nearly 3 weeks ago. That fueled more speculation that the timing of the security clearance action was dictated by a desire to change the subject and get out from under the 48-hour pounding the administration was taking from former staffer Omarosa Manigault Newman's new book. Juan, Crystal, back to you.